Hi, welcome to Dialogues for the Vaccine Hesitant and Those Who Love Them. I'm Jay Dodge, artistic producer at Boca de Lupo. Boca de Lupo is a company that has been focused on creating new work, touring productions, and presenting shows across the country and internationally for almost 25 years. We've done tiny shows inside shipping containers and between phone booths. We've done huge productions under Vancouver's iconic bridges and in the rainforest trails of Stanley Park. We also do plays in theaters, but since the pandemic, we've been focusing on ways to keep the spark of theater alive as all the world's venues went dark. This led us to create Plays to Perform at Home, a series of plays delivered right to your doorstep to be performed with and for the close friends and family that make up your bubble. Inspired by that project, we came together with the Dr. Peter Center to create these dialogues for the vaccine hesitant and those who love them. As a theater company, we conceived of these audio plays or practice conversations for difficult situations as a way of helping people navigate tricky territory with compassion and empathy. The play you're about to hear is called But Why? By Mary-Colin Chisholm. It was recorded at the Eastern Front Theatre in Halifax, directed by Kat McCormack and featuring James MacLean as Kim, Tindra Johnson as Suzu, and Mary-Colin Chisholm as Linda Ann Sparkles.
Hi, my name is Coastline Dodge and I'm 8 years old. The setting of this play is in a sunny kitchen with lots of plants and great art, mostly kids' art. COVID vaccines have been approved for ages 5 to 12. A radio plays instrumental, easy listening music in the background. Kim is a dad in his late 30s. He's preoccupied wondering how to talk with his elementary school-age daughter Suzu about getting her shot. He's having a hard time organizing his thoughts. His mom, Linda, Nana, is over for a Saturday morning visit.
Ooh, that's good, Kim. I shouldn't be drinking caffeine, but I love the smell of coffee too much to give it up.
I can make decaf.
Ugh, I don't trust that stuff. Who knows what they put into it to get the caffeine out? Oh, so did you make the appointment for Suzu yet? You know, it takes time for the vaccines to kick in.
Mom, I know how the vaccine works. I got the jab as soon as I could.
Well, I want to be safe around my granddaughter. Would you just get it done and over with?
She's got a lot of questions.
Oh, don't be silly. She's too young to really understand.
Actually, Mom, I'm always surprised at how much she does understand.
Oh, you indulge her. That's why she comes up with all kinds of notions like this thing with the needles.
Lots of kids have a fear of needles. I still hate needles. She should have a say on decisions that affect her, especially her body.
I don't know, it's such a big deal over something that takes 2 seconds.
It kind of is a big deal, Mom. Never mind.
No, tell me. Oh gosh, you're not one of these antis.
No, I didn't think twice about getting the shot. For me. But it's different making that choice on her behalf. She's so little, so vulnerable. It's not rational, but what if... Never mind. I'm just trying to make it clear for myself first so I can explain it to her.
Well, I would have lost my mind explaining everything to you and your brothers. Why do I need to go to bed? Well, because it's dark. But why? Because the sun is gone. But why? Because the earth turns. But why? Well, because it does. Now go to bed. Oh, the but whys never end. Just get it over with quick, and if she freaks out, you can buy her an ice cream afterwards. That's what I did with you.
Yeah, I remember sobbing my eyes out, eating Moon Mist ice cream, and then throwing up.
Yeah, you always had a tricky tummy. I had 3 of you to wrangle into the doctor's office by myself.
I know. You did your best.
Oh, Lord, I traumatized you.
It's okay, Mom, really. If I wasn't trying to figure out how to talk with Suzu, I wouldn't even have remembered throwing up all over the car.
Yeah, and all over Kyle.
Although he deserved that. He told me that the needle would make all my blood come out.
But, oh, that little.
Maybe I'm overthinking this. I just don't feel like I have all the answers.
No, and you never will. That's being a parent.
Top up?
Kim, about what you said. Oh, no, that's good, dear. Leave room for cream, thanks. About what you said about kids being so little and vulnerable, I know how that feels. Oh, you'd look up at me with so much trust that it was scary. So I pushed you through as fast as I could because I didn't know what else to do. I'm sorry. I was winging it. But you're a great dad. So just listen to her and answer her honestly. Dang, I wish I could go back and take my own advice.
Thanks, Mom.
And Kim, maybe this'll help. I found it got easier when I realized that it was okay to answer some of those but whys with, I don't know. Where is she anyway?
Upstairs with the cat. Suzu? Hey, Suzu!
I'm trying to find something to protect you. There's too much junk in this closet. Oh, this'll do it. Hold still now. You have to wear this. Ta-da! This ribbon is a magic invisibility ribbon of magic. Sparkles, this ribbon is supposed to make you invisible because it's a force shield. And the COVID germs will go, help! I want to get to this kitty cat, but oh no, this magic ribbon has power over me. It makes me blow up. Kaboom! Pow! That's what germs sound like when they blow up. And then, eek! They fall down, dead. Do you like that? Good, you're protected. And you look pretty. Where's my wand? Boy, Dad is right. It's messy in my closet. And I want my wand so I can, shazing, turn evil COVID guys into snowflakes or, no, sparkles. Stop scratching, you'll lose your magic bow. Do you want the COVIDs to get you? I'm sorry, don't be scared. I'm just trying to protect you. Shh. Because you're just a little kitty cat and I'm bigger than you, I love you and it's my job to take good care of you because there's this thing in the world now and it's COVID, which is hurting people. You know Lily, my book buddy? No. Well, her grandmother got really sick. Like really, really, really sick. And she almost died. I don't want my Nana to.
Suzu? Are you in there, Suzu? Can I come in?
Okay.
Hey, what are you doing in the closet?
Sparkles was scared. He feels safe in here.
Oh, why does he need to feel safe?
I don't know.
Well, it's good he's got you with him.
Uh-huh.
Suzu, have you thought about what we talked about yesterday? That kids can get vaccinated now for COVID?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't think kids should get the vaccinations because I already got them when I was little, right?
Yeah, but they weren't for COVID. Do you know what COVID is?
It's a bad little germ that makes you sick with spikes.
Right. Because it has spikes, it's called a coronavirus.
And it's scared to come into the closet.
I didn't know that. Well, your closet is safe because no one goes in but you and Sparkles.
And you when you tidy up.
How does it make you feel when I ask you about COVID?
I don't like it. Everybody is all the time talking blah, 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 COVID. Just go away, COVID. Get lost, COVID.
Wow, it'd be great if we could just tell it what to do, but it's not going away, is it?
But why?
Because germs, viruses get passed around, right?
But why?
Because people carry them. They don't mean to, but they can give viruses to other people.
So everybody should stop giving COVIDs to other people.
That's one reason why we get the vaccine, so that we're less likely to give it to other people. What do you think about you getting the vaccine?
I think vaccines are for big people and parents and nanas and bus drivers and all the old people and teachers can get the vaccination. And Sparkles and me can stay here.
Wouldn't you get bored if you stayed in here forever?
We could get me a big TV and PlayStation.
That is not going to happen.
Aww.
What about everyone at school? Would you miss them?
There's this girl, this older girl, Madison, and she says the vaccines don't work. She showed us on her phone that people said that.
Okay. We've talked about the internet and how hard it is to know what is true on it, right?
Uh-huh.
Will you promise me that we will only look at things together, and if Madison or anyone shows you something, you will tell me?
Yes, and I didn't know she was going to show us all that stuff.
I'm not mad, Suzu. Other kids have different rules in their families, but in our family, we will check things out together, okay?
Okay. So the vaccine isn't bad?
No. A lot of scientists have tested it, and they have to tell the truth. Sometimes you do get a reaction, though. After I got my vaccine, I felt really tired.
But why did you get it then?
Because now I can do the things I enjoy, like seeing my friends without worrying. Would you miss your friends if you stayed in here?
But why do kids have to get it?
Because even though some people get reactions from vaccines, many more people get very sick. Much more sick from COVID.
How sick?
They have a hard time breathing, and they feel very bad.
Do they die?
Only sometimes. And the doctors and nurses are helping the people who do get very sick.
What about Nana? Will she get sick?
Nana had the vaccine and she's careful. You can help keep her and everyone safer if you get the vaccination.
They should put the vaccination in little pills for kids. Why don't they do that?
That's a good idea, and they would if they could. I don't like needles either, but when I got vaccinated, I had to take deep breaths.
You did?
Yes, like this. Can you breathe with me? In through your nose and out. And the nurse told me some people look at their phones to make it easier. And I said, good idea. So I looked at pictures of us at the lake.
Did it hurt?
The needle? I didn't notice because I was looking at a picture of us in Kyle's boat. Afterward, my arm was a bit sore, but it's all better now.
I don't want to get sick.
I know. But you're a really healthy kid, and most kids don't get very sick.
But why?
Your body is young. Your immune system. Have you heard of that?
It's why I eat fruits and vegetables to keep my immune system strong.
Immune system, right. When you're young and growing, your immune system is stronger than big people's.
But why do I need to get a needle then?
It's the best way to be extra safe and to help protect others. Can you think of something you don't like doing, but you know that afterwards you will be glad you did it?
Maybe tidying up? I don't like doing it, but after, I like it when it looks nice.
Sometimes it's worth doing something uncomfortable. Does getting the vaccine sound like something you could do?
Maybe.
Here, Sparkles. Let's take this ribbon off.
No, don't. Leave it on him.
He's tangling.
I put it on him to protect him. I'm supposed to take care of him.
Okay, I see. Like I'm supposed to take care of you?
Yes.
You do a good job. Hey, if he needed to go to the veterinarian, would you go with him?
Yes. I tell him it's good for him. Sometimes we do things that are hard, but we'll feel good after. And I'd give him a treat to help.
Like I can help you if we go together?
You and me and Sparkles?
Sparkles too? Gee, Suzu, I don't think they allow pets.
I can show Sparkles how to get a needle so he can be brave.
Wow. Well, I'll try and find a clinic where we can take Sparkles. But if I can't, could you look at a picture of him when you get the needle?
Maybe he and Anna could watch on Zoom.
Oh, you could talk to Nana and show Sparkles how to get vaccinated.
Yep, I could do that, Dad. Why is COVID so mean?
Pardon?
Why does it want to hurt nice people? Why does it want to hurt us?
Because it, well, I don't know. Maybe we could find out.
Maybe I'll be a virus scientist and find out.
Maybe someday. Hey, Suzu, Nana is in the kitchen, and she brought cookies.
Cookies! Come on, Sparkles!
You should ask Nana to tell you about the time she took me to get vaccinated when I was your age. It's a good story. Your Uncle Kyle is in it, and the car, and there's ice cream, vomiting.
Dialogues for the Vaccine Hesitant and Those Who Love Them was produced by Jay Dodge, directed by Sherry J. Yoon, sound designed and engineered by Carey Dodge, and with communications by Carmela Sisson. Special thanks to Kat McCormack and Elsa Pill at Eastern Front Theatre, and to Scott Elliott and the Dr. Peter Center for supporting this project and for all the incredible work they do. This has been a Boca de Lupo project. If you love the play and want to read it yourself or with others, you can go to bocadelupo.com, BOCADELLUPO.com, and find the ebooks for all the plays in the series. You'll now hear an interview hosted by Boca de Lupo Artistic Director Sherry J. Yoon with the playwright Mary-Colin Chisholm and child psychologist Dr. Elizabeth McLaughlin.
I'm here with Mary-Colin Chisholm, an actor, director, and playwright of the podcast you just heard. She's based in Halifax and has performed in many productions and is the co-artistic director of Frankie Productions. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
And also joining us is Elizabeth McLaughlin, child psychologist in the Pediatric Health Psychology Service at IWK Health, the children's hospital serving the Maritimes. She works with children and youth coping with acute and chronic medical conditions. Thanks so much for joining us, Elizabeth.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So the first question I'd like to ask Mary-Colin is how you came up with the idea for the play. And for a bit of context, I approached you about a play that was focused on children 5 to 12 years old in collaboration with the Dr. Peter Center, who are leaders in pandemics. A different prompt for a playwright. Can you share with us how you found your way into the creative process?
Yeah, it is an interesting prompt. And it was, I remember you saying it can be anything. It could be a conversation. It could be two women in a cafe, which was freeing. But I thought, first I thought, oh yeah, I could have people discussing this. And I thought, well, it can't be dry because other people are giving the information out in a much better way. I'm not a medical expert. So I really wanted to bring the kids' voice in because it's about kids and I wanted to make sure that they were at the center of it. So I created the little character of Suzu. And just because I always think you can do anything in theater, I thought having a non-human would also help. As a kid, I have this memory of talking with my dog and having him understand everything, and it seemed to be, it could all have been happening in my head, or I might have been talking out loud to him. Anyway, I gave that to Suzu, that she could talk to her cat, and she could say things to Suzu that she hides from her father, he's a very open and understanding guy, but kids always hide a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it sort of started with Suzu, went to Sparkles, who was originally a bunny, but bunnies don't talk very much on a podcast. So Sparkles became a much more expressive kitty cat. And then I also threw in Linda the mom, so we've got a grandmother, a father, and a child. So there are three generations with three different views on the whole issue.
That's great. And did you have any personal experiences that informed your writing?
Well, it kind of came up in conversation with Elizabeth. We talked over issues around vaccine, but we're also both mothers. And there is that thing about making a decision for this small, perfect, vulnerable little being that's very different from making a decision for yourself. The hesitancy around vaccinating your kids is a different hesitancy. Mm-hmm. And I explored that a little bit between Kim the dad and Linda the mom, the grandmother.
It's great. It's a very touching relationship they have with each other. That's also, there's quite a bit of humor and love between them. I think that was really well done and something that we could all relate to when it comes to the scenario that you've created.
When I was a kid, I got dragged to get vaccinated without being told what was happening.
So that did happen to you.
And so I did sort of write that in.
Okay.
They were giving smallpox vaccinations, which is usually the little keloid that people my age have on their upper arm. Yeah. But I went ballistic, and a couple of nurses grabbed my legs and arms and held me down, and the doctor poked the needle in my hip, and I managed to get loose, kick the needle. The needle flew in slow motion in my mind and came down and stuck itself into the thigh of the doctor. I didn't put that in the play.
But that's where you got the idea about a time where there was a conversation for yourself, and I'm sure that was a very scary experience for you.
Yeah, it's one of those childhood scary experience that becomes a war story when you're an adult, right?
Right, absolutely. Now, we were the ones that brought you, Mary-Colin and Elizabeth, together to collaborate and inform the process, and we wanted the playwright to have some support on the creation of this particular piece. Elizabeth, has vaccine hesitancy come up in your work and in your life experience?
So in my work, it's come up a little bit differently than how we normally talk about vaccine hesitancy. The main barrier that I've seen in my work has been a fear of needles, which also does come up in the play. So not about the idea of getting the vaccine, but the process of having the poke. We've always known that needle fear is very common in children and in adults as well, and that it's been a reason that some people avoid shots that they may see as a little bit more optional, let's say like the flu shot. But what we've really seen with the COVID-19 vaccine is a real motivation to receive the vaccine, and we've really been seeing how that fear gets in the way for people. And what's been really exciting is how people are working together to mobilize to help people to address their fear. So healthcare providers of all types are vaccinating folks in the car if that's where they're more comfortable, giving them lots of time if that's what they need, and really helping people to overcome the fear. In my personal life, what I've seen more in my own kids is a lot more of an influence on social media than there ever has been with any other healthcare decision. Usually, children get most of their information from their parent or caregiver and their healthcare providers. And on this issue, I think they're getting a lot of information from, as was again noted in the play, the internet, social media. So it's a different kind of information source.
And is it varied, you'd say? Is it more like dealing with a bunch of different ideas, more than like a single source, like a parent, more than just positive and negative?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And all like little snippets that seem to stick for people that are different from a conversation that you could have with a parent or a healthcare provider or public health nurse, those kinds of things.
Right. So what are some key takeaways for parents to consider when talking to the kids about vaccines, especially for COVID?
I think, again, Mary-Colin did a nice job of really highlighting the important ones. I think the approach of asking Suzu, the daughter, what she already knew, thought, and felt about the vaccine before giving advice or giving information. Everyone is more open to receiving information when they first feel heard. So having an opportunity to share any fears or concerns. And then also, if you ask your child first what questions they have or what they already know, then you're going to be in a better position to problem solve or answer their questions. He also answered honestly and didn't tell her that her feelings were wrong or just reassure they're there kind of thing. He gave her an opportunity to learn something new and to problem solve over anything that she was worried about. I think the focus on resiliency also, the idea that you can do hard things. I loved Mary-Colin took that idea and turned it into sometimes tidying up your room isn't so fun, but you like how it feels when it's all clean. So I love that example. But kids can do hard things if it's important to them.
That's great. I think collaborations like this, like even between yourself and also with us in the Dr. Peters Center pre-pandemic in our community, were possibly more difficult to broach or at least to explain to an artist, like why be a part of an initiative like this? And it's a very different time now. Mary-Colin or Elizabeth, did you have any concerns about creating this work and having it be accessible to the general public?
My only concern was my lack of medical expertise, and Elizabeth is so clear, and she passed the material around in an early draft to her colleagues, so any small clarifications could be addressed. I'm just very aware of, walking in with big oblivious boots and potentially causing harm without even knowing it. So having a conversation with a medical expert and feedback kind of allays that. And then I feel like, well, then I can do my part of the deal, which is just imagine fun things, you know?
Yeah, and do the creative and do what theater folks do best, because there's so much information out there that definitely your job wasn't to relay the information from a science base, but it was to create these scenarios to support people who are going through really similar things. So I think you did a beautiful job and such a thoughtful artist. And so I knew you'd be perfect artist to contact. And also this partnership has gone so well. Elizabeth, do you have any thoughts on this?
I definitely don't have concerns. I think, Mary-Colin mentioned risk there. I think risk is when we make people feel that their autonomy is threatened. And when they feel that they don't have a choice, they're less likely to receive information. And I really liked how right up front, the autonomy and choice of a child is even recognized as important. And so it invites people to consider their options, consider their values, consider what's important to them as a person and in society and as a parent, but it doesn't tell them what to do. And so I think it really lays things out nicely for people to consider those bigger questions around who do I want to be and what kind of parent do I want to be? What kind of person in society do I want to be? And it just lays it out there for folks. So I think that's great. I don't see risk in that.
Great. Thank you so much. Are there any last thoughts you would like to share?
I'll just say I thought this was really exciting for me. Yes, we do have information on the healthcare side, but it's usually in a Times New Roman font handout that's quite boring. I'm a theater lover, and I just loved seeing how ideas about evidence-based thoughts kind of can come out in a creative, fun way. So thanks for inviting me to be part of this.
Oh, no, thank you.
On the other side, I'm kind of a medical nerd, if that's terrible. But I'm writing a play now set in 1820s, so it is about an historical figure who was a doctor. So I'm writing about all the bizarre medical theories back then. So just having someone share so generously their expertise is really exciting as an artist. But yeah, it's funny. Elizabeth's a theater fan, and I'm a bit of I don't know, a medical nerd. That sounds terrible, but I love that stuff.
That's great. Well, I'm glad. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me. I appreciate all the work you've done on your comments and thoughts. And thank you for listening. Hopefully the play and our interview has been useful in supporting you and your loved ones through these challenging times.